Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Division 3 or F3 in RSF1's season 1, F3, round 1. I'm Primus Gaming, and joined with me is Krog, Master Krog. Welcome.
So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the opening race of the Formula 3 season for RSF1. We're in Melbourne at the Albert Park Street Circuit, only a few kilometres south of central Melbourne. We've had a few disconnects, surprisingly. We've lost, I think, 3 drivers, but as far as we're aware, the show goes on. So let's crack on with Q1 and see how the top 15 of the grid shape up.
We lost Camo, we lost iDyslexics, and we also lost Cross Kerry, who just joined back. But let's have a look. See, optimize everything. But yes, it's a very interesting first season for RSF1. You know, we've had a few good races so far from all the other divisions. So the last division to sum up the first round in RSF1 is Australia. How do you like Australia, Krog? Are you a fan of this track?
It's an interesting circuit to drive around. I think the fact that you've got a combined road and street circuit always throws up a bit of events as the drivers go around there. It's quite narrow in some parts, and if you touch the grass and spin round, you're definitely not going to be too far away from an accident. I mean, we've seen yesterday, I myself fell foul of the turn 11 and 12 fast chicane, which 40's just coming up to now on his outlap. So it's not an easy circuit to start off the season one. It's a good challenge. There's some fast corners, some slow corners. It's got the mix of everything. So I mean, so far the divisions we've seen have seen some great racing. So let's hope that F3 can continue that trend.
Indeed, it'll be nice to see a good little, good fights for the last Australian Grand Prix of the season. So we've got some real changes from both games. Obviously, regulations, also car changes. The cars are actually much more harder to use in this game, which I actually frankly like because you get to fight the car more. Do you agree, or do you prefer 2018's cars?
I'm definitely leaning towards the 2019 cars the more I play them. I mean, you've got the removal of the ballast option on the setup, which is quite a big thing, especially when you look at the esports side of things. Ballast used to crank the ballast right up high. It just helps the car rotate into the corners. But when you were watching it, it did look quite slidey. So the fact they've removed that, I'm actually quite a bit of a fan of, because I never really used ballast last year. So it's great to see that it's definitely more of a level playing field, and the cars this year are difficult to drive, yeah, but they are so much more rewarding to drive, and they are so much more enjoyable to drive as well, which is quite key when it comes to something like the F1 games.
I agree there. I think the ballast option in the old games, it did favour so many people, but I think it was the ballast that actually really helped the cars keep their momentum and grip during corners such as the infamous turn 11 and 12 here in Albert Park. And we've noticed because of how the changes have been made to the game since the last one, it's definitely noticeable to say that even the pro drivers are still struggling with the loss of the ballast and the setups.
And I think the fact you look at the game, how the handling was changed in that patch that dropped a couple of weeks ago, you've already seen people having to relearn what was already a difficult system to learn in the first place. So I think this race we're definitely going to see I think the closest pack we've seen all season. So it will then fan out once people learn. Obviously, people have more time to practice, and people prefer certain things, start working out their setups, whether they want high front wing, low front wing, and all of that kind of stuff. So it's going to be an interesting season to watch out, and I think this could be a really, really cracking season of league racing.
So a little preemptive question, I know, but who do you think will be the drivers to look out for in today's race?
There's quite a few new names on this one. I've recognised a few. I've raced against a few. So there's some quick guys in F3. King Tomo is one that I remember having quite good battles with, and then you've also got to look out for Old Manzi was quite fast as well. I don't really think we can call it until the flag drops at Q3, because this could throw up any situation at all, Albert Park. As we saw in the F1 qualifying, it was all over the place and no one really knew who was where until the session had all wrapped up. So it's going to be an interesting session to watch and see how everything unfolds.
I definitely know, because I was talking to RSF1 Moronics earlier today, and Bodder with a 124 free on the hard compound tyres. So, interesting. Everyone's on softs, but Bodder is on the hards.
It's probably just a banker lap, to be honest, for Bodder, because it's pointless starting on doing this session in anything unless he's trying to save a pair of softs for either the race or Q3. But it's not really a risk worth taking, because now and then not only that, it takes away from his race set as well. So if something does go wrong, he needs an extra set of hards. It could be an interesting one that he's made that call so early on.
I have a feeling he's going for a medium tyre start and then a soft tyre finish. So possibly something similar to back in the social race that they did, but he did a two-stop back then. So if he's doing hards now, because he didn't do hards before in Q1, it's interesting to say what Bodder's tactic is, and I actually can't wait to see what Bodder has got in store for us. And we also got to watch out for his the other McLaren, his teammate DPS. So it'll be a good race, I know for sure. But iDyslexic, fastest lap of the session with a 121.7, so a very fast lap from Dyslexic.
That's a very quick lap. That puts him nearly a second clear of anything else we've seen. So,
what I was about to say was Moronics. I spoke to him earlier. Oh, nasty crash from Cross-Carry in the Williams. Literally caught him on the right moment. He went into Sector 1. He caught the curb, got a bad run, and crashed into the wall.
I've just caught that one on the stream. That is...
He's out of qualifying one.
I believe, looking at that, that is turns... the straight in between turn 5 and 6. So he's come out of 5. So 5's obviously a flat right-hander. Got high on the curve, and it's just rotated the car, and at that point down that stretch of road it's pretty much curtains.
Bad start for the Williams driver, especially with his amazing performance in the social last week. But anyways, I have a feeling when I'm going to talk about Moronics, someone's just going to have an accident and put me off of it. But Moronics, so I talked to him earlier, and Moronics he's got a goal for today. He looked at the pace. I think it was of iDyslexic. I'm not too sure, but he'll be able to confirm later on when I talk to him again. I think it was iDyslexic, but anyway, the time he wants to beat was set by a driver that set such tremendous pace. Actually, was faster than the F1 drivers. I think it was Dyslexic with a 120.9. And Moronics is more than determined to try and beat that lap. So we got to watch out for him.
If we're looking at 120.9s in F3, then I think they won't be lasting in F3 very long. They may see themselves going up to F2. Because 20.9, that is very close to F1 pace. Very close. So that's the other thing.
Challenge.
That's the other things these early races give us a chance to work out. We work out whether the tiers are correct, whether everyone's in the right place, and of course stuff's going to change, it's going to shift around, but that's what these early races are for, to iron out those kinks so we can get on and have a pretty fast and fair season.
Decent lap from RSF1 Flaming and Jay Slee. So it's currently a racing .12 in today's in this qualifying session, but Jay Slee managed to pick up the slack from what happened with his teammate, and he's currently in 4th place. So that's a pretty decent lap set by Jay Slee, but knowing the rest of F3, we're going to be seeing more aggressive laps.
I've got a funny feeling you're going to be looking at high 21s to get safely through to Q2. maybe low 22s. But at the minute, to be fair, there's not a massive amount of on-track action going on as our current provisional pole sitter leaves. So hopefully he'll be able to rejoin.
Well, we are on board with DPS Racing, who is beginning his flying lap. So I know Bodder and DPS is going to try and fight, but we all know this through rounds 1 of F2, 1 and 4. Never assume that it's all going to be safe on the first lap, and also don't rule out the back markers, because sometimes being in the middle can actually be beneficial. Yes, you're in the middle of all of the pack, but also you'll have better chances to see what happens in front of you as well as what's going on behind you. So definitely when it comes to race starts, you never know what happens.
Yeah, and I think we, again, like you said, we've seen that in the earlier races we've had this year. So we've already, I mean, I started P6 for F1 and got tangled up in an accident. And my teammate started down in 11th. He then went on to get 2nd because he just kept it clean. He had fresher tyres off the start. 11th, arguably one of the best places to start the race for tyre wear, and round here the one stop is a hard strategy to pull off because it is high tyre wear. So softs to mediums is going to be a hard strategy to pull off. So we're going to see some interesting strategy calls as this race goes on and as the qualifying goes on as well. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on.
I agree, and the one-stop strategy is possible but hard considering what you have to do, because I did that yesterday. So I went with a hard tyre start, so I have a feeling we'll be seeing this from a few drivers as well. I know there'll be a couple that are going to do the same. So we'll definitely see a hard tyre start and a medium tyre finish, because I did that in my race. So I started P12, and unfortunately my teammate never got to start because he disconnected a handful of times and he couldn't get back in. But I went from P12 to P1, so it wasn't. It was a good race, but like, you can never disregard the middle pack, because you may have a poor qualifying run, but some people are much more they're much more better in race. You know, once they've got a good race pace, we see more stability in the battles. That's when we'll probably see some people show their true colours.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. So this game especially, qualifying and race pace don't go hand in hand. My one lap pace it's all right, it's not too bad, but race pace is a lot stronger, and some people find it the other way, that their qualifying pace is far better than their race pace. So that's the beauty of these jumbled up fields as we go into these races. You don't really know how they're going to finish, and to be honest, by the time you get to turn 2, it could be a completely different grid.
Old Mancy is now setting his lap, so he crosses the line to set a 122.8, so a good run from the Renault that puts him in a good safe zone. We still got 4 minutes, well, just under 5 minutes left of the qualifying session, and the only cars to have not set laps is Reese, Dufferlump and Moronix. But Moronix and Dufferlump are out on their flying laps, but we are seeing nothing from Reese. Is there a problem maybe going on with Reese?
I mean, you can leave it until around 3 minutes 30 to get out and do a flying lap. I mean, if you really wanted to push it, you could probably leave it until about 3 minutes to do that one lap, but you're putting pressure on yourself to get that lap right, to not track extend, to just make sure it's a clean one to go round. And I mean, it's pressure. Will he deliver it? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But at the minute, Reese still in the pits, so leaving it very late or not running at all. So that will be one to watch. If he doesn't run, that then leaves 2 drivers to battle it out to survive Q1. So at the minute, I'd say everyone below top notch is safe. Everyone below him, I would think about going again, and that is kind of what we're seeing.
And we are on board with RSF1 Moronics, who is now making his way to my famously nicknamed corner 90 degrees, thanks to Bodder. So he now goes through 90 degrees, he's now heading to turn 11. He's also had a bit of a problem on his main flying lap, so he had to can it and then redo this. So on his flying lap, good run into turn. Can he get a good run through 12? Yes, he can. He just managed to hold on to it. So he's now going through the third DRS zone of the track, now going into turn 13. Can he get a good run into turn 13? Yes, he can. So now, what really important one here is turn 15. A decent run onto the power. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Turns 15, get a good little cut on the curb, keeping the traction coming out, and now he's going to get a good run, slightly good run coming into the final corner on to the power. And can he cross the line and get out of his little predicament? He can.
Wow.
Second place from RSF1 Moronics.
Off, I dyslexic. Rise is on his out lap. Rise is definitely on his out lap now, coming up to the penultimate sequence of corners. So we're going to ride on board with him, see where he can pop that Red Bull, whether he can get it through into Q2. 2 minutes in the session remaining. So let's just watch and see what happens. It is indeed. Who's the Ferrari coming out of the pits?
That was 40 in the Ferrari. He's, I don't think he's pleased with his lap, and he wants to have another go.
Legends has come out. I mean, it's going to be close. Legends is going to be very close to whether he makes it or not. He can't hang around on this out lap. He's got to get even 40. Yeah, I can't understand why 40 and JSC are going again. I mean, you've even that's an interesting call. Are they fresh tyres?
I think they are on fresh tyres. Oh, I think Moronics is out of fuel. Yep, Moronics is... No, he's not out of fuel. No, he just stopped to let the cars go by. He can't stay stationary too long, otherwise the game might penalise him.
You shouldn't be stopping there anyway. You can't just stop on track like that. That's naughty, that is. Yes, he was trying to get out. Has he completely run out of fuel? Yeah,
I think he might have.
He has. Yeah,
I don't think he stopped there on his own accord. I actually think he messed up with his lap originally, and he just completely ran out of fuel entirely. But he'll make it into Q2, but it's a risky play made by the Haas driver. Oh, Reese has moved up to P11, so the Red Bull has made it into Q2. Can Tomo get there? So Tomo is going to cross the line into the DRS zone. I don't think Tomo's going to do it. He just misses out. No, he doesn't. I think he's actually going. He's preserved his DRS. Oh no! I think he might have accidentally exceeded the track limit and invalidated his time. Because it doesn't look like he's pushing
just made that. Falcon makes that by 1 second, so that's pretty much as close as you're going to want to call it. Moronics' Xbox has just reset. So
that's fine. He should be able to get back in.
Yeah, I'll be able to get back in, that's fine. So, yeah, that's it. That's Q1 wrapped up with then. So the drivers we lose lose Ted first, Crosskey, Duffalump and RSF1 King Tomo are all out in Q1 for the first qualifying session of the season. Falcon does not need to finish this lap, so will he put in a representative time, or will he just park it in the pit lane? So we're going to follow him around now.
I think he might do a time, because it looks like he's pushing quite well. So he gets a decent run out of turn 12. It looked like he slightly cut the line there, but I don't know if he got a invalidated lap, but he's still going. You
can run quite wide over that curve. It's a bit fishy with track limits this year. Some of them are on the line. You touch it, you invalidate. So he's going to finish the lap, and some are quite soft, so you can take a bit more curve than usual. He's out of ERS.
Oh, second place!
Wow. 0.18 seconds off that time set by Dyslexic.
Falcon
so it's heating up
real danger in qualifying. but it looks like it is the end of the session. So as Krog has said, Ted First, Cross Carey, Duffalump and Tomo are out of qualifying 1.
So the next session, of course, Q2, that is the session that decides your starting race tyre. So that's an important session to get the laps right. If you get it, you've got time to do a lap on the mediums or hards and then to go on the softs just for insurance. So we're going to see what this is where we start to get an idea of what strategies are going on and who's running what for the race and how things are going to lay out on the grid. But that was an interesting qualifying session. Not too much action going on. Everyone just getting their laps in. So Q2 is going to be interesting.
I'm happy to see everyone set a lap, because there's been some times in the other divisions where someone actually doesn't set a lap time because they either had too many incidents during their lap or they just never got a chance to. So it's really good to see everyone put in a lap there. Well done, everyone, including the drivers that were unfortunately knocked out in Q1. But do not fret, there is still more to go. Your luck may change. But here we are in Q2, 15 minutes to set your starting race tyre and a decent lap, because obviously the cars from 11th to 14th are going to get knocked out, so it's going to be really, really pressurising for everyone, because they need to work their strategy out and set a decent lap as well.
So 40 again, eager beaver to get out at the start on the mediums. So 40 going for the medium strategy to start the race on. The interesting thing to watch out for is the sky is very grey. And sadly, we still don't have a weather report for spectators, which is kind of annoying. So we're kind of going as it happens.
We'll keep an eye on the stream chat, because someone will be able to provide a weather report for us, hopefully. But still, I agree with you. This is not safe, because we never know, it might rain in Q3 or it might be a wet race. We cannot, we're not predicting any weather or anything like that. Obviously, we still need our weather report, but sometimes you can get overcast and then it just stays like that. But it could rain at the end of Q2.
The fact that everyone's staying in the pits tells me that it's not going to rain, because you would not want to be sitting in your pit box nice and snug if it starts raining if there's rain forecast for the session. So at the minute, I think we're going to stay dry. 30 minutes left to go. 40 will be the first one to set a representative lap time.
He's just getting some heat into those tyres. Also, Top Notch has gone out onto the track. Can Moronics set a lap? Because has Moronics actually been invited back? Because I know he lagged out because of his console, but he needs an invite back.
Interesting. Moronics is on my list, but he's sitting in the pit lane. And on the stream, we're a driver missing.
Yeah, it's Moronics on my end. We're missing him.
So where is he then, and what's going on with that one? He didn't crash out. He did leave the session and is having Xbox issues. It's dry conditions and clear sky for the race. So okay. It's going to be all dry then. Thank you very much. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name, because we will be here all evening. So thank you very much for that information.
So both the Ferrari are out on track. So 40 being the only one on his hot lap, and Old Mancy in the Renault is also doing his out lap, but he's going on the hard compound tyres. Interesting for Mancy, and also Joshua in the Alfa Romeo is now coming out on track. It's looking like a
40 with a big moment. Well caught.
Good save.
That is a contender for catch of the day for 40. So Falcons Legends has left the session as well. So we're struggling with the internet connections this evening. That could be down to the immense heat we're having pretty much everywhere in the UK. My internet has been struggling and my Xbox has been working overtime. So 40 will have... Is he going to go again, or will he pit for No, he's going again.
No,
so 40
he's
goes
going
again.
back in.
No,
If you've noticed, 40's made a mistake. He stood here. Normally you'd have it. Oh, he went for his lap. Oh no, he did go for it.
Yeah, he's going
he didn't
again.
have it in hot lap. He didn't have it in hot lap mode. Normally you'd have your ERS in number 5.
What was this, before or after the slight accident he had?
Before the slight accident he had, it was still in mode 4, which is overtake.
Oh,
mode.
Moronix
There we go. There's
rejoins.
Moronix.
Hot lap doesn't give you. Oh, and he's backed off of this one as well.
Ooh,
So 40's
got to be
don't
careful.
stop on the apex. That's going to be.
Luckily,
I think
RSF1 flaming is not on a hot lap, but it would be a naughty move to do on that corner there, especially if the fact is faster lap setting cars will need that spot to get a good run into the second sector.
that is, of course, your apex of turn 6. So you're not going to be wanting to sit there when you've got a fast car coming. So 40 actually has completely abandoned his medium run. So he's going to box this lap unless he's fueled for a third lap. But even if he's fueled for a third lap, his tyre wear is going to be so high. They're not going to be ideal starting tyres, especially with that half spin. So Mansley creeps in with a 24.5 on the hards. I wouldn't say that's fast enough, considering we were looking at low 22s in Q3. But so 40 is going again. Tyre wear,
Interesting.
This is interesting because his tyre wear is going to be so high.
And this is risky play by 40 because he definitely doesn't want to fall back. But I know these are the only mediums we have, but these mediums are massively important for the race start. If he doesn't get into Q2, then fair enough, he can go on a harder compound tyre and go for a more preservative start. But if he gets into Q3, it's going to be very dangerous for 40 because those warm mediums on a race start, he is going to have to be one of the first to pit. And yeah, it just probably won't go the Ferrari driver's way unless he's working something out. And Joshua on a really slow lap as well. I think he might have had a problem as well. A 1:38.9, really slow.
And the undercut this year is strong. Oh, and he's round again. These mediums on 40 are shot. He's just had a big slide coming out of turn 12 again. So I don't think this has worked out for him. He needs to come in and whack another set of tyres on. He's going to set this lap.
Dyslexic is on a fast lap. He is going to cross the line. And he is going to set a 1:22.6, fastest lap of Q2 on the mediums. A good run from iDyslexic.
That's
it is
what
now
we're going to be
again
looking at for the mediums. So interesting.
Racing Point
Moronix
1-2.
has set a time, and it's not letting him rejoin and take control of his car. So Moronix will start this race 15th.
That is a real shame from Moronix.
Such a shame.
But it just means he can take a little bit of time to prepare himself for the upcoming race. Remember, it doesn't matter if you've had a bad start. Oh, Dyslexic's lagged out the session as well. This is very bad for Dyslexic because I think that was his second time. So
he's got a lap in though. He has the lap in of a 22.6. That will, I think, get him through.
Will get him through. I definitely think
6 tenths off. So I think Dyslexic is safe on that one lap.
Oh, Old Mancy. What's going on with Old Mancy?
He's lost his front wing.
He's
gone round at turn 12. Yep. He's got no front wing. He's gone round at turn 12. His front wing is
intact on my screen.
Is it?
Yeah, it's intact on my screen. I think he might... No, he's not out of fuel. I don't know what's going on with Mancy.
He's staying on the hard. So he's got 6... Sorry about that, everyone. It did look like he didn't have a front wing, but it's obviously hidden by the halo. So he's pitting now. Duffalump also leaves the session. So connections are proving to be somewhat of an issue this evening.
There is a somewhat chance today. I don't know what's going to happen for the grid start because everyone's having connection problems and we can't have too many cars lag out on us. It will be up to the boys upstairs, you know, whether it's worth doing a restart, but right now everything still seems okay. You know, the heat is
we've
just
still
having
got the
an effect
amount
on
of
everyone's
drivers.
connection. But I hope we don't get a restart, because it looked... Oh, Bodder! Oh, Bodder was on his outlap, and he went around the last corner, and the back end of the car just said nope, and just span out on the poor fella. So he's gone back into the pit, so it doesn't look good for the Irish driver.
Bodder it's going to be tight as to whether Bodder can get back in and out again. It's going to be a little tight time-wise as to whether he can actually set that lap. So quite a few drivers still yet to set a lap. Fordy, of course, has set a lap on mediums. He's put the softs on and will go out again.
So we got RSF1 we got Camo and Element Snow doing their laps. We've got RSF1 Flaming and DPS Racing still out on their flying laps. No one's currently on an out lap, so we are on board with Camo. So Camo's now going to get a decent run into the 90-degree turn, again nicknamed by me and Bodder because it's easier to remember. So he got a good run through 90-degree, gets a good run into 10-11. Can he? Yes, he can. That's a good little move. A little bit wide though, going into 12.
And he did miss the apex of 12, so there's time to find.
But if he can get a good run into turns 13 and 14, he might just be able to salvage what happened in the lap. Element Snow is out of the race. Not race, qualifying. I think
that is an accident, I believe. Again,
probably the infamous turn 12
of Spectator. You cannot look at retired cars if they've had an accident.
Camo being 5th fastest on the medium tyres.
Fordy's gone out on softs. Closely behind Joshua. This is the part of the session where if you've set the lap on mediums, the heart rate starts to go up as you see everyone else diving onto the softs to try and improve their time and knock you out. So it's a risk worth taking if you can start on the mediums, but you've got to be either confident in your time or at least out on track, ready to go again. You can always pull in and abandon the lap if you don't need to set it, but it's high pressure stuff. As it comes to Q2 in the drop zone. Probably, I would say, can be more stressful than Q1 because you've got the unknown factor. But we'll see how this pans out. So Joshua going around on his outlap.
Joshua is not happy with his previous lap time set on the medium tyres, so he is going to put in a competitive lap. It's interesting that we're going to see some soft tyre runners, but that means that getting a high position in qualifying 3 is going to be that much more important with 3 minutes left to go in the second qualifying session of the day for F3. Can we see some more laps? Because currently right now the drivers at risk is Old Man C, Bodder, Falcon Legend, followed by Element Snow and Moronix, unfortunately being out of the session. So Moronix being unable to recontrol his car, and Element Snow from crashing in the 3rd sector.
So we don't have a time on the board from the soft runners yet. So these are going to be coming in thick and fast in these last 3 minutes. So quickest time at the minute is a iDyslexic of a 1:22.6, and that was set on mediums. But we currently have 7 runners out on soft tyres. And everyone from 1st to 8th in the pits, other than Flaming, who's felt the need to go out again on softs. Maybe that's to give himself something different in the race, so everyone's not running the same strategies. So Flaming,
I know RSF1 Flaming. He is competitive. He wants that. He wants a good position. He wants to try and show all of F3 that, you know, I'm here and I'm going to fight for this. So he's going to try and get to his teammate.
Sacrificing your race? I learned that lesson the hard way in Monaco last year. I took the ultra softs to try and get into Q3, and it ruined my race. It's Oh, Flaming goes a little wide, but other than that, he's survived. He's 2 seconds quicker, so he's gone purple in the 2nd sector. He's 2 seconds quicker than his teammate. Not 2 seconds, 2/10, sorry. Fordy comes in with a 22.4. That's not that special.
And Joshua. Not
A
bad.
22.4 is, when you look at Dyslexic's lap on the mediums, 40 with time to find. Joshua, of course, the leader of those two cars. So this is getting interesting.
Someone who managed to sneak up under our noses and get a good position is Bodder. Bodder went from being one of the drivers at risk, having a poor run on the hard tyres, is out on the medium tyres, and he got a P5 in qualifying too. So we can probably say for sure Bodder is safe.
There's 5 cars on softs still running around though, so nothing set yet. Flaming goes 4th. Slower than his teammate on the softer compound of tyres. So of course it's the C4 and C5 and C3 tyres they use in Melbourne. So that soft tyre, the softest of the Pirelli bunch, the C5. So who else have we got to watch? Rise isn't out. Camo is on his out laps. So is DPS Racing. Top Notch has stayed in the pit. So Top Notch is out. So that's Element, Snow, Moronics and Top Notch who are all out. And Old Mansley is on another set of mediums, which already seem to have done. So this will be their third time lap
on
for
that
Old Mansley.
set tyre. So we definitely know Element, Snow, Moronics. We're having a problem with DPS Racing. He has wing damage. I didn't see it sooner, but DPS Racing is out of qualifying too.
Yeah, he's 77 seconds off his best. So DPS Racing. So that decides, unless Old Mansley can pull something out of the bag, on 3-lap old mediums, which I don't think he's going to, looking at where he is on the track and what time he's on so far.
I think Camo, if Mansi doesn't set a fast lap now, if he doesn't beat his time, his teammate will make it into Q3, but whatever happens, a Renault is not going to have a good day.
Mansley's well off the time.
Mansi is going to cross the line and set a 123.9, so he did beat his time, but it's not enough to get him out of Q2. So Camo, being the driver in danger, is safe.
So that decides it then. So we have our fighters for the top 10 shootout. They go through to Q3 for the last 12-minute session of qualifying. So the drivers we've lost in Q2 are Moronics takes 15th place on the grid. 14th goes to Element Snow. Top Notch takes 13th place. Old Mansley and DPS Racing are the final two to be knocked out. They claim 11th and 12th place respectively. So each of those drivers getting to pick their starting tyres. So that is the key. It's whether they can get that starting strategy to work and they get the fresh tyres. So basically, they get a good run at the start. Nothing's over yet.
There is a silver lining to everything. So we definitely will have to watch out for the middle bunch. I do know DPS Racing will probably slap on those hards and put in a fight. So our top 3 in our session is Joshua, setting a 122.2, which is a good lap on the soft. Same with 4D, doing a 122.4, 2 tenths off of Joshua. And iDyslexic on the medium tide in a 122.6. But it's going to be a very, very risky play now because those soft tyre runners, they're going to have to live with those sets. So they cannot afford to fall too far behind, because just because someone's on the harder compound tyre doesn't mean it's going to be easy to get past them.
Yeah, that's what going to be the key thing to watch in the race. Those soft compound runners, they're going to be pitting earlier, they're going to be coming out in traffic. So you've got to make that soft compound work. So clock goes green. We have 12 minutes remaining of Q3. This decides first pole position down to 10th place on the grid. So let's just see what we can come out with here. Who's your favourite then? If I was going to say, who would you say is
me,
top dog for pole?
Me having to be impartial, so I can't really say a favourite, but I can definitely point out a couple of drivers who are definitely, in my opinion, going to be danger for everyone else on the track in terms of trying to take pole. So Bodder, he is definitely a danger for everyone else because, you know, he is fast. Bodder knows how to really get around this track, and it's the same with iDyslexic. iDyslexic set a fast lap back before, which I was told by Moronics, which was actually actually faster in, and this was in, I think, in a social race or anything like that, but he set a lap that was faster than the F1 league. So it is very interesting to say, but Dyslexic is actually a real contender.
So social being the optimum word, no pressure, no nothing, nothing's on the line. This is where it matters. So if you can pull it out here, that's where it needs to matter. You can do it in a social race all season long, but as long as you can't get the results in the actual sessions that matter, that's where it counts. So Flame, everyone now going out. So we're going to be, most drivers will be looking to do 2 runs. So you get 2 sets of soft tyres. You get given a set of the soft compound tyre. Just for making it into Q3. There's a little gift from Brody, like, go and have another go. Go on, impress everyone. Let's see what you can do.
I think that the Racing Point are going to be helping each other out, because as you can see, Flaming is not trying to get past his teammate. Obviously, they're both on their outlaps. They're not trying to go for it, but I think Dyslexic is going to try and give his teammate the toe to set a fast lap.
That's a very risky strategy to play. It's extremely risky, and that can backfire. So Dyslexic is sacrificing a set of tyres to maybe give his teammate a toe down the main straight. I don't understand that.
It's a possibility. They might not be doing that.
I mean, they're still pretty close together.
Flaming is not making any attempt to go past his teammate.
Dyslexic still... And not only that, Flaming's going to get all the dirty air coming off the back of his teammate's car. This is a weird one.
It's definitely an interesting play from the two, well, Racing Points. I know people are going to try and correct us in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Well, as Timmy said, get this Force India or whatever that it's called out of the way. It's Timmy writing, so fill the blanks yourself, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, you having really seen the real F1 experience, would you say RSF1's probably going to show more overtakes than the actual F1 season that we've currently had?
I don't know, to be honest. I can tell you. I mean, it's going to be an interesting season. It has been already. I mean, I've been lucky enough to attend a handful of the races and testing. So Dyslexic actually getting quite sideways there, coming on to turn 10. So this is a really interesting... Yeah, but I can understand Angerfist from the chat saying they're doing the toe, but the toe's not going to be beneficial because you're going to be getting so much dirty air off the car in front. The toe's
These two are really cars to watch out for.
Unless they've somehow cracked the magical gap you're going to need not to get a toe, but already you're seeing Flaming drop back. And
it looks like Dyslexic got a 121.3 and a 122.4.
Yeah, the toe doesn't work. It's not.
It looks like Flaming's giving it another go.
Runs?
It looks like they are. Flaming has taken the position ahead of Dyslexic. It looks like Dyslexic, however, is not. Yeah, he's not doing it. I thought it was going to be like that, but as you can see, Flaming is actually still pushing quite hard. But currently, right now, the grid goes Dyslexic in first, Falcon Legends in second place. That was a good lap of a 121.6.
Crept in, we didn't see that
in third place. Yeah, Bodder as well with a third place with 122 dead. Jace Lee fourth, which he was also the pole sitter for a brief moment before the Racing Points came by. RSF1 Flaming in fifth with Joshua in sixth. But Reese 40 Porter, sorry, I was about to say Porter, but he did get 7th place of a 122.8, but I know he won't be happy with that, so he'll try and make another move. Reese, 40 and Camo being the only cars to have not set a lap, but Reese comes in with a 122.3 to take P5, so it's not quite the speed enough to catch our provisional pole sitter. So we still need to see 40 and Camo put in a lap. So 40 is on his lap now.
40 is one to watch. I think he can definitely get in there and rustle the pigeons. The Krog lap is coming, guys. Calm down. It's gonna happen. Don't worry. It's on its way. I'll probably wait until we see the next set of laps. So Dyslexic is top of the pile at the minute with a 21.3, 3/10 clear of Falcon Legends in second place. And then we've got quite a big gap of around 4/10 to Bodder, JS Sleet. So we've got a second covering the top 5. So I'd expect to see a little bit closer. 40 going for 1 or 2 laps. He hasn't got time to pit and set another whack on it. Oh, gets high on the curve again. That's going to cost him.
Nasty there from
Turn
40.
12,
And that's
being 40's friend this evening.
No, both the Ferraris have not had a good run with that, but it looks like I think 40 might just try and set the lap because obviously even if he doesn't get into the top lot, he's
abandoned. He's putting another set of softs on to go again. That lap was not good enough. He needs
to slap on a set and get out as fast as he can, otherwise he will not be able to set a lap.
He has time, so everyone returning to the pits other than Bodder, who is on a lap as we speak. Looking nice and neat and tidy through turn 11.
So Bodder is now doing a decent lap, actually. It looks like he's got some real good speed. So Bodder is really trying his best to maybe try and take the provisional pole away from iDyslexic. Oh, no, he's gone in there. He was on a good lap there.
Boxes. They're 2 laps old, those softs, so he's going to be losing about 7/10.
We got some
then the calm before the storm. Everyone in the pits putting on their fresh set of boots to go out and give it everything. So who are we going to see?
We've got a Ferrari leaving the pit
first. So 40's going out first. 40 takes first place on the track. So he's going to be the first car to cross the line, start the laps, followed by a Toro Rosso of Auto.
It won't let me have a little look at them.
No, it's
there
not
you
letting
go.
me have a look at. There we are.
I've got a little look on Porter now.
Right, so Porter and 40 are the ones on their out laps, so 8th and 9th respectively. So they're going to be wanting to get round. Lap. He does. It's been a messy session from 40. He needs a clean one here. So pressure is on.
He has to help Ferrari because everyone forgets. Yes, it's also good to get a good race, a race finish, for some points for yourself for the drivers. But do keep in mind, constructors is also a thing for this season. So Falcon Legend is in a good spot to bring some points home for Ferrari if he can maintain that pace in the race. But 40 needs to do his best, especially with struggling with turn 12. Can he live up to what his teammate has achieved? It's very hard to tell, but we'll stay on board with 40 as he is about to cross through to turn 13.
He's going to be unlucky because he's going to catch everyone else coming out for their lap. He's going to get traffic.
We have got some people coming out.
Which is not what he's going to want. So here we go then. We're going to stay on board with 40.
I'll let you take the lead in this one.
Let's have a lap. So here we go. You want to maximise your run down the start-finish straight. Get it up into highest gear as possible. And just after the 100-metre board, down 4 gears. Flick it to the right-hand corner for turn 1. Turn 2 quickly comes at you. You want to get over to the right-hand side and piss that apex on the outside as possible. Then again, another little straight, second DRS zone. Down into second gear to rotate the car nicely. Going into the car park of turn 4. And then you've got the fast, flat-out right-hander of turn 5. You want to keep the power down as hard as possible for that one. Up to 7th, then drop down to 4th for the turn 6. 7's flat-out, 8's flat-out as well. And now you're coming up to the Clark sequence of corners on the north-east side of the lake. So up through right-angle corner, as we've been calling it all session. Then you've got the back straight, which is actually a curve. So again, flat through here. Here's the problem section for 40. Turns 11 and 12. Downs to 6. He may have. He's definitely invalidated.
He may have cut that.
He may have cut that. So he might have to go again. But anyway, we're going to stay on board with him. Down towards Ascari. Another right-hander. And then you've got Stewart coming at you. Not much time to think about it as you flick to the right-hand side. And then you've got the penultimate series of corners. So Prost corner, the penultimate corner, turn 15, and then into unnamed 16. Again, maximising his run if he's going to go again. He's going to want to go again. I think he has invalidated. Falcons has left the session.
No, he didn't. That was a valid lap.
That was a massive corner car.
That was
well,
indeed.
Okay,
That was a
that's
very
an
big
interesting
corner
one. So
cut.
that lap puts him 4th.
I'll go on board with Dyslexic. So
we'll hop on board
Dyslexic
with
is now
Dyslexic
getting a
then.
good run into turn 1. He cut
That's
the
a
corner
very
just a
good
little
run
bit,
through
not
turn
enough,
1.
but that's a very good run onto the DRS. So he's putting it into 7th gear, you know, maximum momentum into this corner here. So 2nd gear, everyone normally goes through his 2nd or 3rd, but I prefer 2nd, so it's good to see Dyslexic's also as well. Going into the fast right-hander, and he's now approaching the end of the 1st sector. So he now goes into this corner. I didn't realise this bit here was actually 2 separate corners, so now it's good to know thanks to Krog. So now he's going up to the infamous turn 9 and 10, which we've called 90 degree. So into 90 degree, he now gets a good run out of it. So it looks like Dyslexic's actually on a really fast lap. He is securing the gap. So into turn 11, can he get a good cut? And then into turn 12.
Oh, his teammate's round.
Force India.
Flaming's round. No front wing, sitting in
into
the wall. So Flaming's
13.
session is over. Dyslexic will finish the lap. He is flying. He's about 4/10 up. That could be a track extend.
P9. But Dyslexic is on a banging lap, so he is going to go around the final corner.
No,
he can't.
He invalidated on turn 15. He went wide. So pole is there to steal.
Shame.
If anyone wants to go for it, 4D claims 5th. I'm sure he'll be happy with that after the qualifying session he's had. Who else is on a lap? It's kind of caught us out here.
Bodder is on lap as well.
Bodder's on a lap. Bodder's going for it. So coming up towards turns 13, 14 and 15 now. Bodder looking like he could snatch this. I don't know the times because there's not been a timing bean since we came on with him. So coming up towards Prost now. Exit left, 1 corner to go. Can he keep it nice and level?
Ooh,
Can he keep it planted? It's not too bad. He might have got that. That's cost him. Can he keep his foot in it though? It might improve. It does.
3rd place.
3/10. 3rd place.
If he didn't make that mistake, Bodder would have been on provisional pole.
He wouldn't have been provisional pole, but it'd have definitely been 2nd. I don't think he lost 3/10 in that.
So that is our top 10. So following the top 10 for the race start today is Dyslexic in 1st place on provisional pole, followed by Jaisley in the Williams, who literally just came out of nowhere. Bodder in 3rd after having a little mistake on his lap there, putting in a tremendous lap to start 3rd place. Good run by the McLaren there. Porter, he's in 4th place, followed by the Ferraris of Falcon Legend and 4D in 5th and 6th. Joshua 7th place
and there's a Force India in the
Alfa
wall.
Romeo. Oh yeah, Flaming crashed again.
Flaming's crashed going again. So after towing his teammate, he's had a bit of a rotten end to the session. So Flaming's sitting 3 wheels. No, so 9th place for Flaming.
If this was the real F1, that would have been red flagged for the session, because that's actually quite a very quick point zone for the. So they might. So it would have been a red flag if it was actually a real F1, but because the cars would despawn, it would be perfectly okay in the game. But that is our top 10. So we're going to have a brief moment before the race start. You know, everyone's going to have a little evaluation over the strategy, and we are definitely going to see some really clever strategies going in to turn 1 and the rest of the race. But are you looking forward to this as much as I am?
It's going to be interesting. I'm actually really looking forward to this one. So we've got strategy in there. We've got fast drivers out of position. We've got everything for this one. So we've got a little delay, just to make sure
Head first has left the session.
So hopefully
he has to make sure he gets in.
That's why we've got the little delay. We've got a 3-minute wait just to make sure everyone's all into the session.
Yeah, 2 or 3 minutes. You know, we'll have a little scene what happens, but it all rests on Bodder. So when Bodder says it's okay, we'll be able to begin the race. But we just need to make sure, you know, we don't have any faults for this start, because, you know, it's happened in F2 and it's happened in F4. The only division to have not broken through, you know, that little wait is F1. So we're going to take this moment, you know, Krog, I think, you know, Krog and I, well, I'm fine. I've just had a nice drink, so I'm perfectly okay. I'm all set. Krog might go quickly prepare himself.
I'm all set.
Oh, no, he's still there.
A quick glass of squash. So just the top, I've got the water bottle ready. Water bottle, race notes and laptop are all here, so we're ready for the race. So just quick, can you remember what the pole time for Formula One was, the Formula One division? It was in the 20s, wasn't it?
It was definitely, I think, the fastest lap of F1 from when I was watching the stream. I think that might have been a 1:21.6, maybe?
No, it must have been quicker than that. I'm pretty sure it was in the 20s.
Oh, we'll have a look, because someone in the chat might be able to put it up.
We'll try and find that one. Because if so, this F3 is very fast for Formula 3.
Well, we don't know if Dyslexic has set the fastest lap, but we do know that, well, a 1:21.3, wasn't it? So
Dyslexic set a 1:21.342. That claims pole position for him, followed by JS Lee in the Williams of a 1:21.6. So he was 0.298 seconds off pole position, so 0.3, and then a microscopic gap of 4 thousandths of a second to Bodder in the McLaren. He definitely lost P2 in that last corner when the tyres stepped out on him, and the rear said, "I'll have no more grip," and off it went. So that's going to be one to watch. So Bodder suddenly showing us he's got race pace. So it's. Yeah, so pole was a 20.9 by Vettel in F1.
That was a very good lap by Vettel.
Well, not only that, yeah, it was. That was a good lap. But I think the field spread in F1 was I was 6th and I was only 0.2 off that. So as we said earlier on, race pace is different. It is completely different.
Definitely. Race pace and qualifying pace is two completely separate factors. So Dyslexic may be fastest in the qualifying, but can he maintain that momentum going into the race? Because it looks like Bodder is now ready to rumble, so that means everyone else can now follow in behind him. So everyone's had their time to look at their pit strategies. I definitely know Moronics is going to make up for the very bad start to the day, because he showed such amazing pace like in qualifying 1. And then to go out on qualifying 2 is just absolutely horrible. But I know that pain because I had that back in my race. But we are now on board with the formation lap.
Formation lap is away, so we're going to run you through the field as it stands. So P1, we have Dyslexic. So he set the quickest time earlier on in qualifying, which is the lap everyone's kind of talking about, very close to the F1 time. So he's going to lead the field round. Should we do one car? So switch after one car. So you do first, I'll do first, you do second, third, fourth, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we'll go in like a tandem.
Yeah,
so
let's go for it.
So I'll begin with Dyslexic in the racing point. He will definitely have a good run in. So the car in second place.
So we've got JS Lee starting second. He's going to be wanting to get in front of Dyslexic and control that race pace. So JS Lee starting on the mediums as well. And then it goes, so JS, he kind of came out of nowhere in qualifying, to be honest, to claim P2.
Yeah, he came up out of nowhere, and then following behind him after his unfortunate little near-off, nearly a little spin in the last sector, well, in the last corner, is Bodder in third in the McLaren, so followed by...
Porter takes P4. We are going to have to quickly wriggle through these. So Porter takes P4.
Falcon Legend in fifth.
Fordy claims P6 after quite a disruptive qualifying session for him, struggling to get a lap together.
And Joshua following behind him in the Alfa Romeo.
Rise in the Toro Rosso claims P8.
Red Bull.
Is it?
Yep, that's a Red Bull.
God, it is. God, those colours are similar. Sorry about
that. And RSF1 Flaming, unfortunately after his accident back in Q3, unfortunately he starts in P9.
So Camo takes out the last of the points paying starting position, so he takes P10.
DPS Racing 11th.
Legends has left, coming onto the grid.
Oh no, this is bad.
This is really bad.
If he doesn't get back in before the race start, his car won't go.
No, it should AI start. It'll just drop him down a positions. So just to quickly finish off the grid then, while that's happened, so you've got DPS Racing P11, Old Manzi takes P12, Top Notch Elemental Snow and Crosskey take P13, 14, and 15 respectively. Duffalump, RSF1 King Tomo, and RSF1 Moronix start.
Please take the lead at this race start, my friend. I will let you take this first lap.
I've got a pretty naff camera, but here we go. 4 lights, 5 lights. We are green for season 1 of RSF1. We're away in Australia. So Dyslexic gets a good start. JSLey immediately getting in behind that to claim that slipstream. Bodder dropped in behind as well. Pretty clean start from everyone else so far. Joshua, so 40's round.
We've lost 40.
40 and Old Man's in the round. So 40 with front wing damage. Yeah, Flaming got caught up in that as well, so we didn't quite see that because we had a pretty naff camera for it. Moronix then up to 15th. He's just going to be watching and waiting to see if he can claim. So he's one to watch later on in the race. So as we start then, Joshua makes his way past the AI of Falcon Legend. So does Ride. Yeah, this is the AI, so this could be dangerous. So just one to keep an eye out on. Top Notch on the grass, trying to go around the outside. Slots in. So Elemental Snow now right behind Top Notch. So this is all kind of kicked off at the start with that AI car.
Dangerous for the Alfa Romeo. Joshua has got wing damage, and he's under pressure from Reese and DPS Racing.
So that's so Joshua will have to pit. Oh, big slide from Rise.
Oh
Rise
my God!
And in the gravel, and he gets collected by Falcon Legends.
Oh my God! He's just taken a bunch of cars. We might be looking at a race restart.
Oh, and
look how many cars have crashed. Both the Ferraris are out.
Both the Ferraris out. So 40 just, again, on turn 12. Absolutely high on the curve. Spins the card round. That shouldn't be a race restart. Falcon Legends' AI was slow through the corner. Rise got out of shape all by himself. He spun round. Falcon Legends then hits Rise straight in the side of him, spins around. 40 ditches it all by himself. So Joshua in the pits. I just need a bit of a second to catch my breath back after that.
While you quickly take a moment to catch your breath, DPS Racing and basically everyone from P5 to P11 has immensely recovered, especially Moronix. I said he was going to. He made up 10 positions and is in P9, and DPS Racing has moved up from P11 to P5.
So Legends
it's a real shame for the Ferraris.
To find his car out, and so he's out. Legend, both Ferrari, that's a massive blow for Ferrari. They were going to be the ones to challenge Force India.
Start.
40 lost it all by himself, and Legends just, the AI car just collected Rise as he spun round. So that's tough luck. That is really hard on the Ferrari boys.
It is very tough luck indeed, but that is just what happens with racing. But it looks like from pole, we have Dyslexic still controlling the lead, still followed by the first 3 cars actually haven't moved position. It's still Dyslexic, JSLey, and Bodder in the top 3, but Porter has come out of nowhere. I think Porter is in his starting position as well, so he's not lost or gained any positions, but after Flaming with a 5-second time penalty with a severe collision with Reese. I think they've crashed again.
Joshua retires.
Did Joshua retire on track?
Joshua retired.
Did Joshua
I didn't catch it.
Joshua might have retired on track. If Joshua has retired on track, that is a penalty.
So Flaming's day goes from bad to worse. He's missing the front right end plate. We're going to see him box this lap for a new front wing. Flaming and Rise coming together, so I didn't catch it, so I'm not going to comment on it. So we need, if you could just switch the timing screen to individual. Oh, and Rise serving a penalty.
Yeah, he had a drive-through penalty.
Have we got it on interval? Oh, there you go. Sweet.
We'll leave it on position change for the moment. Oh, no. We'll wait until we get to the middle point of the race, and then we'll switch it onto tyres, so then we can see the tyre strategies. But unfortunately, a bad start for the Renault team. Mansi and Camo being caught up in the turn 1 incident We've lost pretty much nearly all the Ferrari-powered cars. We've lost
so
the only
Joshua
Alfa Romeo on
confirming
grid.
he did crash. Sorry to interrupt you there. Joshua confirming he did crash. So turn 12 claims another victim.
Did he? So he did crash out. So he completely
crashed
out. He didn't retire.
He didn't retire.
Okay, that's good. Well, not good, you know, but like he
saves him the penalty
because he crashed. He wasn't in the way. Interesting start. Moronix is actually catching up to his teammate in P6. Look at that! I told you Moronix was a car to look out for in the session. And
but the
after
key thing,
such
he kept it clean.
Chaos.
Oh no,
Moronix is gone. He's
Commentator's
gone.
curse strikes.
No.
That is commentator's
Sorry,
curse.
Moronix.
And it's prime is full. Now watch Crosskey. Crosskey's has to be careful going up against that AI car. We've seen what happened last time.
Struggling for grip.
So Rise also retires, so we've lost 4 cars already.
It's a real shame for the Red Bull driver.
So Crosskey just needs to be safe here, do it with a level head.
Wait, was that Reese there?
Is what, sorry?
No, that was Reese, yeah, that was Reese who crashed in turns 12, wasn't it?
Yes. No, I don't got the inside into turn 11!
Oh,
now look at
risky,
look at the traffic jam. Traffic jam from Moronix's car because they're so slow through that turn 12.
Tomo wants to get by, and he does. Going to go down the inside into turn 13. Yes, he can. And it looks like Duffelup is also got on the inside.
It's a squeeze.
Contact! No. The AI has knocked out Duffelup.
He left the gap. He left the car's width. Duffelup it seemed to just spin.
No. It's bad for Duffelump. Moronix's car,
so
obviously not under his control after lagging out the session.
To anyone who's hosting the lobby, what is the AI speed set to? What difficulty is it on? Because that could be part of our problem here. But moving on from that, so Flaming sitting down in 14th. So that's a real shame.
With a 3-second time penalty.
Old Manzi now the next to pass the mobile chicane of Moronix's car.
I think Bodder is putting on pressure on the Williams of Jay Slee. Bodder is closing down the gap between him and Jay Slee. Good run. Jay Slee almost crashed.
He had a bit of a slide, so Bodder's going to go around the outside. That's deep from JS Lee. Oh no, he's kept it in line. Keep it clean, guys. Keep it clean. Good job. So Bodder backs off. He's obviously got the pace to get past him.
Good response time from Bodder as well. Obviously having to deal with Jay Slee struggling for grip. It looks like Jay Slee is one-barring, so it's causing a little bit of problem for Bodder to get past him. So it looks like Bodder is going to maybe try and make a move going down into turn 1, though he cannot. So he's going to stay on the back of the Williams, going into the second DRS zone.
Has he got a better run?
Can he get... DRS has been activated for him. Jay Slee touches the dirt. Bodder has to back off because Jay Slee's just all over the place. He's not leaving room for Bodder to make a move.
So that's an interesting thing. It's whether he's deploying what is called the Verstappen tactic and slamming right or left in the braking zone. So that's what you've got to watch out for because that's where it starts to get a bit unfair. But this is just allowing Dyslexic to pull away out front. These two squabbling.
It is a very, very interesting start for the season. Moronix, I think he's also made a stop. Yes, no, he hasn't. Moronix has fallen back to P10 for some reason. Yeah,
that's his AI because it's only on 50.
Oh yeah, I forgot he lagged out.
It's just going to be so slow. But I think for the future we should definitely set it a little higher.
So now it looks like Bodder is going to try and stay on the rear of the Williams. He's just within DRS range, so when they go onto the straight, he'll have the DRS, but he went a little bit too wide going into that corner, while Jay Slee got a bit of a better run. So into the DRS zone, can Bodder get in a slipstream of Jay Slee with the assistance of DRS? Turning up the ERS deployment. No, he can't get to him just quite yet, but he needs a good run through turns 1 through 2, because Jay Slee mucked up a little bit here last lap, but I don't think Bodder is just close enough yet to make the overtake.
So it's a tough track to overtake on round here. So apparently Moronix's Xbox is overheated. which really does suck. So that's really hard luck. The conditions, IRL playing their part in Formula 3's championship already. So Bodda again still stuck behind JSP. This is, I mean, Tomo's coming back onto the back of Crosskey slowly, but Bodda is the closest to another car. But Dyslexic isn't pulling away. I don't know about you.
No, the
he's
gap
not pulling
has
away
maintained.
as much as I thought he would.
Oh, RSF1 Flaming with a penalty. And RSF1 Flaming's out. I literally just turned onto Flaming and he's crashed on a very bad part of the track. He crashed on the outside of turn 15. No, turn 14.
Is that deliberate?
I don't know. When I came onto the camera, he lost control. Look at the cars having to avoid him. That is a very bad place for him to crash. I don't know if that was deliberate, because I do know RSF1 Flaming does sometimes get a bit annoyed of how things have gone, but that is not a very good place for the car to be.
Right, it's gone. The car has gone. That's an interesting place to crash there. That's a very interesting place to crash.
That's a very unlikely
so here goes
place to
Duffel on
crash.
Moronix is all over the place. Literally just zigzagged across the braking line. Duffalump gets past into P9. So at the minute, it's
still not past Jace Lee.
This has got to be hurting Bodda now. The speed he's showing.
Is putting everything into an aggressive manner. Tomo wants Cross Carry's position. Cross Carry is on the hard compound tyres while Tomo is on the mediums. Can the Red Bull driver take the Williams going into the next few, well, maybe the next following laps? Because it looks like his car is running out of ERS, which is not good for Tomo because he needs the battery, which he's put it into zero to farm some energy, but he needs the battery power to gain on Cross.
So it's a very hard track again to claim ERS back. This year they've made the change where you don't regain it all the time, you only regain it under braking, which is actually a very good change because that's kind of how it works in the real world F1. So Moronix
is back in the race.
Finally, down in P10th. He's damage free. So damage free for Moronix. Bodda has to be thinking of the undercut now, surely, to get past JS Lee. I think it's a lap 11 you want to be looking to come in for, lap 11 to 12 for the mediums.
So it's a very, very bad recovery, well, not recovery, but return to the race for Moronix, because he was actually in a really high position and then his AI causing incidents. Obviously, it's not Moronix's fault because he had no control over the car. Tomo gets a penalty for cutting the corners. He got that 3-second penalty. Not good for Tomo, especially the fact that he wants Cross Carry's position. He has to get past Cross Carry and open that gap, otherwise he will not be keeping that position. But it's still lap 9 of F3's Australian Grand Prix. Can it change? Because right now Jace Lee is maintaining 3.7 seconds between Dyslexic. Dyslexic has not actually made any ground. Good start from the racing point, but just he's not getting the clean, dirty, well, not the clean air, sorry, he's not getting that. Well, he is, but it's just not maintaining it. Like, he can't open that gap. Oh, Bodda not getting a good run there. It looks like Jace Lee is actually opening the gap between him and Bodda.
Bodda's now out of... Bodda pits. This
Bodda's
is the key thing. He's got to go for the undercut. Can he? Right, another key thing. Get it slowed down for the pit board. DPS Racing retires as well.
No, DPS Racing is out!
Whereabouts is that? Is that turn 12 as well?
Oh, his car is parked in the middle of the road in the first sector, like literally the cross point between the first and second sector. DPS crashed out in sector 1.
So whereabouts was the car?
Literally on the left-hand side. It was in the road. It wasn't directly in the middle, but it was sitting on the left-hand side.
Has he lost it coming out of turn 1?
I think he has.
Just behind old Mansley.
Just before the crossing point between the first and second sector.
Bodda goes mediums to hards. This needs to be an incredible outlap.
He's going for a one-stop strategy.
It's the quicker strategy. It's the quicker strategy by about 12 seconds. Which is really interesting. So Bodda's going to need a stellar outlap here if he wants to get JS Lee. The undercut is powerful, but is it powerful enough? I mean, it was only 9/10. If he can stitch together a good outlap, then he's definitely on the money to get that P2 off JS Lee and chase down Dyslexic, but it's going to be interesting.
The eyes are on
Mansley is
Dyslexic
very
now.
close.
Dyslexic is now approaching the pits. Is he going to pit, or is he going to stay out on the medium tyres? He stays out. What about Jace Lee?
Well, Jace Lee
Lee's going into the pits.
He has to. He has to
now
respond
Porter.
to cover off Bodder. Bodder pits as well, so Dyslexic leaving himself vulnerable. Unless he's going mediums to softs, but that's surely
Bodder's having trouble though.
Off.
He can't get past Mansi.
He doesn't need to. So JS Lee goes on to hards. Bodder comes onto the start-finish straight. He's going to get DR. I think JS Lee is going to be well out in front of him. Yeah, he's well out. Bodder with an
JS Lee is still in front of Bodder. Bodder can't get past old Mansley.
JS Lee's in-lap must have been something special.
Williams has also got second and third place down. Moronic setting the fastest lap of the session with a 126.4 on a medium tyre. Is more going to come, but still,
Fight back
Dyslexic is comfortable. So I do know that the Williams, they're bound to be working with each other, you know. Cross Kerry has not pitted yet. Jace Lee has. So if Jace Lee catches up to Cross Kerry, will Cross Kerry let his teammate go? You know, sort of team orders.
Surprised. Oh, DPS has left. He's already out. Don't worry. So the answer to the questions in the chat. The reason we haven't had a safety car yet is certain versions of the game are bugged for the safety car, so it will not come out. I've done a whole season of career mode and I have not had a safety car.
I have. I've had two.
There you go. So Dyslexic stays out again. So he must be trying
pushing those tyres to the limit. But do keep in mind, and I'm going to say this now, because his tyres may be warm, because those were his race starting tyres, but I had medium tyres. So in yesterday's stream, fellow commentator Craig Senna said that my mediums were going to go, but when I pitted for my one-stop strategy, because I went hard to medium, when I finished the race, I had so much life still in those things. So you never know, Dyslexic might actually have some decent life still in those tyres.
The gap to watch is the gap from Dyslexic to JS Lee. At the minute, it's sitting at around 27 seconds. So that's going to put him, if he pits now, it's going to put him about 4 or 5 seconds in front. But
Moronic's got Dufferlump into turn 1.
So Bodder's on the chase back. JS Lee isn't really setting the timing screens alight with those hard compound tyres.
There's a battle for P8 going on right now. Dufferlump is under pressure from Top Notch after being taken by Top Notch's teammate Moronix, making a decent recovery from his P10 restart after his Xbox overheating. But Top Notch is putting the pressure on Dufferlump, who is definitely feeling the wear from those mediums. And Dyslexic pits.
Here we go then.
Dyslexic put it into neutral. He lost time.
Let's have a look. Hang on. So, top on board with JS Lee.
He slowed down massively.
Is he on the hards? Yeah, he's gone hard.
He's gone onto the hard compound tyres.
Restricted to 38 miles an hour. JS Lee doing over 120. Here we go. Dyslexic launches. JS Lee. Yeah, JS Lee's going to be. So Williams could play the tactic here, if they can. So JS Lee is...
There we go.
So JS Lee,
1.8
seconds. So he's closed in by about 2 seconds there from that undercut. But he will have 2 lap fresher tyres. Bodder closing in.
Looks like it's going to be a battle for P8, for P7, like I said. Dufferlump doesn't get a good run into turn 2. Top Notch gets into the DRS. Dufferlump, yeah, he still has to stop. Oh, a little bit of lag there.
So this is vaguely for position. So it's going to be whether Top Notch can force the move on Dufferlump. Moronic's running P6, yet to stop as well. So it's all still to play for. Cross key. It's going to be interesting to see how Williams play this.
If Cross Kerry can hold up Dyslexic, so he's on the hard tyres as well. They're warm, but you know they're not bad. They still got plenty of life in them, because obviously the life between the hard compound tyre and the medium compound tyre is completely separate. But can Cross Carry
stays out
off Dyslexic and allow Jay Slee to catch up after Dyslexic having a little trouble getting past his teammate? But I do know Cross Carry will not hold up Jay Slee, but he will try his best to slow down Bodder, who's following behind Slee. And
if he's
Camo
still
with
out,
another 3-second penalty.
It wouldn't surprise me if you see Cross Key come hold up Dyslexic and pit straight away. Bodder right behind JS Lee now, under a second again. So the battle is
pitted.
well and truly on. So Duffelump pops out the way then, that promotes Top Notch up to 7th, so Haas 6th and 7th now. Dyslexic
Looks like
is
we're going to get a battle
catching
between
Cross
friends,
Carry.
because Element, Snow and Camo have not pitted yet. They're still on the hard tyre. Well, they have pitted, but you know they're on the hard compound tyre, but they're not going to be able to finish.
And Camo very close coming out of the pit lane.
Oh, I'm seeing some lightning flashes outside my house. There's some ominous clouds have popped up outside because we had a vicious storm in my county a couple of days ago, but I don't think it's going to cause any disruption. We're still pretty strong in, you know, it's still far away, so we should be fine.
So Dyslexic right behind Cross Carry now. JS Lee's
putting
dropped
pressure
back.
on Jay Slee as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of ruined the strategy because Bodder putting pressure on JS Lee has kind of meant that Dyslexic has slipped away out front. Fastest lap for Dyslexic.
Goes to Bodder.
Bodder then snatches that away, so that's the 1 point, of course, for fastest lap this year. Bodder with a run. Can he make a move? No, he can't, so we're going to scoot back on board with Dyslexic.
Ooh.
It's close. This is close. You've got two drivers separated by less than a tenth. JS Lee really struggling on the hards.
Bodder is still, Bodder's actually going to go for
no,
he can't.
Out.
Jay Slee is not letting him by. Jay Slee slowed him down going into that turn. It is just not looking good because Jay Slee is all over the place while Bodder is desperate to get by him.
Dyslexic right on the back of Cross Carry now, so if you stay on board with Bodder, I'll stay on board with Dyslexic. Cross Carry moves over, going into turn 11 to block off Dyslexic.
Oh, can he get a good run? Because Cross Carry
Dyslexic's got a better run.
Cross
Carry, will he go defensive? No, he lets him park. It leaves the door
there
kind of wide
down
open.
The inside.
Cross Carry doesn't really fight that. So Williams' strategy hasn't really worked. Just because of the fact that Bodder's kind of got in there and thrown a spanner in the works.
A preemptive announcement, just in case, everyone. If this, I highly doubt it's going to happen, but if this storm does take out my, take out the stream, do not panic. We'll try and set it up again as fast as we can. But you know, touch wood, that won't happen.
I can also confirm there is lightning outside my window now as well. Element Snow retires.
Oh, he's crashed.
Whereabouts? He's
crashed. On board with
turn
Camo.
12 claims another
turn
victim.
12.
It's a tough corner, that one. It's a tough cookie. Yeah, it's definitely getting stormy outside, so we will stick with this as long as we're allowed.
Duffelump is putting pressure on Camo back in the battle for points here. Can Duffelump? No, Camo brakes way too early, and Duffelump had to go round the outside to avoid crashing into Camo. That was very early braking made by Camo there. Good response there from Duffelump, but oh my god, that could have literally just been a repeat of my incident with Jedi David yesterday.
That could well have been a plane crash. And my power's now flickering. My lights in my room are now flickering, so I may just disappear in a minute, so we'll try and stick out the last 13 laps, but I can't promise anything.
I think this race is a survival of attrition for all the drivers, but it's also a matter of can our power survive?
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so let's look at the battles. Cross Carry stays out then. Bodder still on the back of JS Lee. Tomo claims a 3-second penalty, so that's 6 seconds worth of penalties now for Tomo. Cross Key pits. Cross Carry, sorry. I do apologise.
Bodder wants to make a move.
Bodder's all over
a good
the
run
back
into
of
turn
JS
2.
Lee. Here we go then.
Can Jay Slee leave room for him? Bodder is going to go round the outside into turn 3. Can he make it? Yes, he can. No, it's still side by side. Jay Slee holds it, but Bodder is
gives
still
him the big
on the
squeeze.
back of it. That was good, clean racing there from Jace Lee and Bodder. But there was enough room and respect for both drivers for the fight.
That's what we like to see in league racing. Respect for either car, respect for either driver leaving the space. It's always the key thing, but Top Notch right on the back of Crosscarry now. Crosscarry's just come out the pits on mediums, so he should have the speed advantage to pull away from the Haas. Moronic still not stopped on those mediums. So obviously, I think he's going to go and try and go for the
since race start. Oh, that's a very big flash outside. My literally outside has gone completely pitch black. I can't really see much out there. It looks like it's night, but those clouds have really settled in. Top Notch has left the session.
Top Notch has left the session, so he's disconnected. So we're going to see him trickle down the back of the field now.
Which is good for
Big
Tomo.
Rumble of Thunder as well. So here we go then. Bodder, round 17 on JS Lee. JS Lee just gets such a good launch out of the corners.
Everyone's got a little bit of strength in certain areas. Can Bodder make the move, well, make him closer to Jace Lee? Yes, he can. Can he get another good run out of turn 2? Yes, he can. Jace Lee looks like he's struggling a little bit for grip, but I don't know if Bodder is close enough, but he's gaining slightly on the Williams.
No, he doesn't go for it.
He can't make it yet, but there's still a couple more overtaking opportunities before we hit the 3rd sector. So can Bodder do it? We'll keep on board with him. So he gets a good run into the fast right-hander. Jace Lee lost a little bit of time. Bodder has gotten just that ever little bit closer. So into the cut-off point between 1st and 2nd sector. Bodder gets a good run. We are now approaching to 90 degree. Can Bodder make the move? No, he can't. He gets a little look, but he's just not close enough. Jace Lee gets a decent run.
Camo pits from P10. Duffalump takes the last remaining point score position. Dyslexic is pulling away out front. So that leaves
a commanding race for the racing
the closest battle. Well, I mean, I'm pretty shocked because I was expecting Racing Point to be up there scoring maximum points this weekend, but Flaming's obviously out. Ferrari I was expecting to battle for the points. Again, we don't see them in the race. Williams are going to come out of this looking incredibly strong.
That is not a good-looking strike outside. I don't know if that's sheet or if that's fault, but let's see if my Xbox survives it. So Dyslexic is still slowly opening gap. Tomo's made a move on Top Notch because it looks like in the battle in the 3rd sector, Top Notch just got caught out by Tomo because obviously Top Notch only just returned to his car.
So Moronix drops. He stops
onto the soft.
So this is going to be interesting.
He's going for fastest lap of the race.
Going for that fastest lap of the race. And climb as high as he can back into the points.
Oh, good battle between Old Mansi and Top Notch.
So he gets past the AI of Top Notch.
Their tyre life is only separated by 2 laps, so it's an equal battle in the middle. Bodder still can't get to Jace Lee. I think Bodder, it's just, I don't think Bodder is actually managing to do it now. I think the optimum life through those tyres.
JS Lee has pulled away a little bit now. So
that is a real shame for Bodder.
So let's see how, if Bodder can get back into it. He should be if he's kept his tyres nice and clean, he should be able to. But that's...
Old Mansi is actually finding some groove on these tyres. He is catching up to Tomo, and Tomo has a couple of penalties. So it looks like Mansi might be able to make the move.
And Moronix already onto the back of his AI teammate. So we're going to... This is where Moronix just needs a better run, get round, give him a wide, but and he cuts him up! Top Notch on the AI just in front of his teammate.
That AI,
they are lethal.
He's slow going into that corner.
They're
look
slow
at
on entry, they're quick on exit, and they just block you in the corners. Oh, I thought that was that. I thought that was curtains.
No, Top Notch is back. Top Notch is back.
Top Notch is back. So, Moronix, Top Notch will rejoin, see his teammate fly past him into turn 1.
Moronix makes a move down the inside on the soft tyres. That was a good move by Moronix. I didn't even know how he managed to make that because we both saw, and the stream saw, that Haas basically just like zip back into his teammate. So there's a real battle going on.
Oh no!
In 11th.
JS Lee's binned it! Turn 12, he's
No!
got high on the curb and gone
JS
down.
Lee!
Lost his front wing. JS Lee
Bodder moved
drops
second
out.
place.
He was second place, and I just sort of caught the crash from on board with Bodder. Just gets out of shape, hits the outside barrier on turn 12. Tries to catch
This
it
puts
and
Porter into the podium.
it does. Puts Porter into the podium. JS Lee's going to have to stop. So we'll surely see him go on to the softs.
This is dangerous because it looks like Camo might be able to get the run on Jace Lee, because Jace Lee crashed in the third sector and had to basically crawl back to the pits. If he can get out in front of his teammate and everyone else, he might just be safe, but it's good for Camo because he's able to maybe take back P10.
Jace Lee will remain 5th because of the gap to Tomo's 23 seconds.
No, Tomo's going to make the overtake, and so will Mansi and Moronix.
So Tomo gets
race
past.
just went from bad to worst. Second to P8 and Moronix with a 1:23.2.
Let's see what he can do. So JS Lee's on mediums. Did he not? He must not have a set of softs available. Because surely you'd go on to the softs to go to the end.
We've got a battle for 5th place because Mansi is gaining on Tomo and Moronix is gaining on Mansi. Oh,
Moronix,
and round the outside.
Tomo's hit the wall.
Tomo, what the hell has Tomo done? He's slowed down.
He's hit the wall on the inside of turn 5. Moronix just needs to keep a level head. He's had an upsetting race, but he needs to keep a level head here. Just to claim as many points as he can.
Get a look on Tomo's car. Yep, he's got end plate damage. He has end plate damage.
He clipped the inside wall. He's going to ride on board Moronix, who's going to be so much faster. Moronix was such a faster run. Now it's a 3-car train. Manzi goes to the outside. Moronix goes to the
wide, going into turn 13.
Moronix makes it stick on both of them, but pushes old Mansley clean off the track. Doesn't leave the space. That's exactly what happens in F1.
Tomo, I don't know what he was doing there. He defended, yes, fair enough, you're going to defend your position, but with that broken end plate, both Moronix and Mansi went both inside and out, and he clipped the back of the Renault, which forced him to like fall off the track, but he managed to get back into the pits. I don't know what Tomo was doing there. That's exactly what happened to
Hiccup in F1. I got caught in the middle of Hiccup, Smokey McBates, and the same thing happened. Smokey went through on the inside. I got pushed wide and had run out of room, and Hiccup just had to go onto the grass to avoid it. But Moronix now 18 seconds off Cross Kerry. I mean, that's a hell of a gap to make up in 7 seconds.
Oh, a bit of a mic rustle there from you, but it was still safe. It's just like it sounded like a little bit of mic interference due to the storms that is plaguing our homes.
I do have a wireless headset, so lightning does interfere. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see how it goes. Slaps to go in round 1 of the Formula 3. I hope everyone's having a good time in the stream. Everyone's enjoying it.
Jace Lee, I saw that. Jace Lee, that was definitely a corner cut. He got given that 3-second time penalty. And unfortunately, his race has gone from bad to worse, but that was fairly rewarded because he cut turn 12 quite massively.
So it's recovery. He's got to recover the points. Tomo picks up another set of penalties. So JS Lee's just got to get the points. Old Mansley going. Here we go then.
Oh,
Jace
Lee's going to get a good run on Manzi, going down the inside on the main straight. And he makes it. He just gets it, but Manzi gets a good run.
Back at him? No.
Into turns 2 and 3. No. Jace Lee's got the DRS, but can Manzi get the slipstream?
No, JS Lee back up into P6 then.
Good move by JS Lee, but he needs to open that gap because he has
catching cross carry at around 1.5 seconds a lap at this rate, which isn't going to be enough. It needs to be about 2.5 seconds a lap.
We cannot rule anything out because remember, Jace Lee was in 2nd and now he's in 9th. Sorry, and he's in 6th now.
We can't leave anything out. What a race! What an opening race this has been.
very interesting. We've got a war of attrition between drivers and a war of attrition for the streamers. But it looks like we might be able to finish this stream off nice and happily, you know. But I can't even see a single fit.
Is catching Porter medium tyres, so Cross could still be on the podium here. I don't think Cross carries his penalties. Let's have a quick look.
Porter is looking like he's okay. I don't think Porter has any penalties. No, Porter does have a penalty. I know he has at least one penalty. I don't know if he's got two. Cross Kerry is actually within a podium finishing time. If he can stay within 3 seconds of Porter, he is guaranteed P3.
Cross Kerry doesn't even have a warning.
Cross Kerry's clean racing throughout the entire session.
Keeping it clean. So keeping it clean to get up onto the podium, and he is catching Porter. So he will want to overtake him on track. He doesn't need to. I'm sure his engineer will be telling him that. He's got the position already, but he's going to risk it. He's got to risk it because Moronix is catching him, but not quick enough.
That was a slight little cut there and there from Porter, but he didn't get any penalties. I don't know if he got a warning, but that was a nice little cut, but it just... Oh, and he went a little bit wide going out of turn 13, but it's the pressure of having the penalty and holding off Cross Kerry.
So Cross Kerry is our closest gap to Porter. That's our closest gap on track. Oh, Camo's catching the back of Tomo. Actually, I've just caught that out of the corner of my eye. So they're scrapping for the last remaining points position.
But the penalties that they've accumulated between Camo and Tomo,
Tomo's got 9,
to tell
hasn't he?
Who's going to finish.
Tomo's got more penalties.
So I know Camo's got a few himself, because Camo got a penalty in the beginning of the race for overtaking someone. Oh, Camo got another penalty.
So that levels them out.
Literally, we're on board of Camo there. Cross Kerry, 3 second penalty.
Cross Kerry, no, he needs to pass Porter on track then. He needs to get past Porter on track for this podium stick. That's his challenge. He's got 3 laps remaining to do that, not including this one. So let's see how this... I mean, he's still catching him, but Porter is doing what he needs to do to keep that gap nice and wide.
What the heck is going on with the hat of Moronix? I think it's the sound glitch with the gearbox.
He's stuck in gear 6.
It sounds like the car is having an absolute hissy fit.
And he will not want to be revving it that high, because that will destroy your engine in this game. So obviously that...
It sounds pretty funny from our end.
It sounds like cats fighting, and that is something I don't want to hear. Cross Kerry really pushing now to catch Porter.
The car is scared of Jacely. It's like, no, I don't want Jacely to get me. Yeah.
So, I don't think Cross Kerry's going to catch Porter, actually.
He is gaining on him. Slowly but surely. Top Notch is back in again. I didn't even realise Top Notch lagged out.
He did slip out again, so... One driver's going to be coming away empty-handed this weekend. Cross Kerry made a massive gain on Porter in the middle sector of that lap.
Top Notch is gone again. He's gone a few times, so I don't know.
He's having issues. Everyone having issues with their Xbox is overheating this evening.
We might not be the only ones dealing with the interference from the storm.
Cross Kerry massively catching Porter. He had a bit of a tank slapper going through turn 12, but he's catching him. I'm kind of lost for words. I'm struggling to think of stuff to say. It's all happened this race.
I am as well.
We're going to stay on board with Cross Kerry, who is pushing like his life depends on it to catch.
It's the only real battle within going DRS on the grid right now.
It is really. So this is the one to watch. 3 to go, including this one.
So going over the gains made by drivers in order, at least the drivers that are still on track. So Dyslexic has maintained pole position from the start. Bodder making up 1, same with Porter. Cross Kerry making a recovery from starting 16th place and being in P4. It's the same with Moronix, starting way in the back of the grid and gaining 14 positions back up to P5. So a really good recovery race from Moronix. I know we're not at the end of the lap, Not end of the lap, end of the race.
Oh, Porter's gone deep.
Gonna...
Porter's gone deep. That's put Cross Carry all over the back of him. Here we go then. So this is the moment for Cross Carry. Needs a good run out of turn 11 and 12. Oh, that was...
Oh, Porter goes deep. Run out of there.
Cross Carry was conservative though through there. Didn't put it on the curb. He kept it well clean.
Oh,
interesting interpretation of the Melbourne Park Street Circuit coming from Cross Carry. Porter goes deep again.
Oh, and it looks like he might be able to get a run. So going on to the straight into the DRS.
I don't think he's going to be close enough this time.
Secure third.
He needs to set him up coming into 2. That's where he's strong, and that's exactly what he's done.
Good run.
Brilliant run through turn 1 and 2. Here we go then, he's got DRS wide open, he's going to go for the inside!
Down the inside!
Later on the brakes.
Goes Cross Carry! Oh, and
Porter leaves the space.
Leaves the room. Side
goes
by
around
side,
the outside, that's always going to be a gap that's going to close.
And Cross Carry!
Oh, and he cuts it, Porter cuts him across. Cross Carry good to get on the brakes there, else that was a plane crash.
That was
oh, he's gone deep.
Porter
really struggling with tyres.
Took out Cross Carry.
It was safe. They both knew what they were doing. Here we go then. Cross Carry is gonna want this position after.
We are definitely going to hear a frustrated Cross Carry after an amazing battle, but he has 1 lap to go to make the move.
Oh,
he gets a bit of
no!
Cross Carry!
Oh, and he's in the wall. He's in the air.
What the heck happened
there? No, he's hit the floating barrier and it sent it airborne. There was a floating barrier on the screen. On my screen, it didn't appear on the screen, but it's a floating barrier that he's hit, which has sent him up. And in the air, that is gutting. That's a massive crash.
Frustrated.
Turn 12 again, so now everyone scores points.
Camo
what an accident!
Points.
His car just shattered. He hits the floating barrier, but that's a bug that's been in the game for so long. You hit the invisible.
I didn't even know there was an invisible barrier.
Yeah, it's on my side. It's on my game, so it's different. Obviously different on yours. So he's obviously hit it, and it's just flipped the car.
So who's your driver of the day?
Driver of the day has to go to Moronix. The difficulties he's had to come home 4th. I mean, to be fair, it might even be
qualifying session.
3rd.
Overheated Xbox. Actually, yeah, he's
had it
gaining
all
on Porter.
I don't know what.
How many penalties has Porter had?
I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I would go and have a look, but I don't want to take it away from the end of the race. Dyslexic.
Porter got a bad run.
Put it on pole.
Moronix is in 6 seconds.
Led on the lead. Here we go. Down the far finish straight. It's going to be... Racing Point's not an ideal weekend. Dyslexic takes the flag in for the first race of the season. And Tom Notch takes it on penalties.
No! Oh my God! Top Notch!
No, that can't be right. That has to be a glitch. That has to be a glitch.
How has Top Notch done it?
No, that has to be a glitch. He has to be a lap down. That can't be right.
That cannot be right.
There's no way that stands. That can't
Porter's
be right.
been robbed of the podium.
I am so confused right now.
What's happened here?
It's lag. It's lag. It's 100% lag. Top Notch isn't even in the session. So
if it is actually true that I know it was lag, but his AI, we still give you points for the AI finish. If Top Notch has won,
that can't be right.
AI.
What is
he was in the
going on?
back.
Was he a lap? Has he finished a lap down? So and then
he's left the session.
So as far as we're aware, our top 3 for round 1 of the Formula 3 division are iDyslexic, Bodder and Porter. They're your top 3 drivers. They're the ones we're going to be getting into.
We have to talk to the boys upstairs of that because I really don't know what's going on.
It can't be penalty.
Won the race.
It can't be penalty. If it's penalties, then it stands.
If it's penalties, then fair play. If
But
it
if
is
it's
penalties,
not
then that's completely fair
I don't
play.
know what's going on here. So we're going to have to try and work. He's right at the back. So unless he's kept it clean and everyone else has just been stacking up penalties, he can't have won.
Cross Kerry taking flight,
Massive strike of
and
lightning
suddenly
out of side.
Top Notch just
What is
yanking
this
the
game?
pole. This race has been literally filled with heartaches, action, and surprises.
That can't stand.
No,
It
no, he's
can't
not.
stand.
That cannot stand.
Let's have a look at it. It's the.
We're gonna have to invite Bodder.
No, that's lag. That's lag. We're not going to include that.
We got to invite Dyslexic,
Top Notch
and
is been.
Bodder.
Yeah, that is lag. So
This is definitely, that's going to have to be something investigated by everyone in RSF1, because right now we saw Dyslexic cross the line. Top Notch was nowhere near
ignore
them.
Top Notch. Ignore Top Notch. That's a complete bug.
Now we can't figure out where Top Notch actually finished. We'll have to
Ninth.
look back
Top
on the
Notch
stream
finished
to
ninth.
where he was.
Top Notch finished ninth. Top Notch has finished ninth. So the top three are, for the first race of the season, Dyslexic in the racing points takes maximum points from that one. So he takes 25 points. We don't need to invite Shane.
Invite our top three.
We've worked that one out. So it's going to be the top three that come in. So
You'll have to invite Bodder, Dyslexic, and Porter. But oh my
let's just
god,
get the winners
what a
in. So this
start.
game is the gift that keeps on giving.
So in all
So
of
Dyslexic,
my
Bodder,
time in
and
gaming,
that massive strike of lightning again. So
I saw that as well.
Hopefully, so let's just invite him to the party.
You can
So
invite them to the
Dyslexic.
game as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Who was third place, if you don't mind me asking?
Porter. Porter was third place. RSF1 Porter CGN.
Right, so they're
hopefully
all
the drivers will
invited
come
now.
in. So we'll hold on for a moment, ladies and gentlemen, because we are going to wait for.
We didn't need to scroll down
three.
on the results because only 10 cars finished.
We are joined by RSF1 Shane.
I wasn't going to include my audio, I was just going to jump in very, very quickly. Your front three are Dyslexic, Bodder and Porter. It was a lag on Codemaster's front.
Oh, okay. That literally just surprised us.
So that's that sorted. So
but they're not joining. We're inviting them to the session. But there we go. There's Porter.
They're all there. I will leave the party, boys, and let you crack on.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Shane.
See you later, boys. Ciao.
So there's people saying that session should have been restarted. That is something that you need to take up with your division host.
That is up to
personally.
That is up to Bodder as well, because he is the host.
I don't think it needed it. It provided a good opening race of the season. It's been a bit of a hiccup one to start with. So we're going to start with the guy in P3, Porter. So, you expect a podium was possible at the when you started that one?
Not really, no.
Make sure you include your audio, Porter. Make sure you've included your audio.
Yeah, I did that. And I hope you hear me.
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, okay, good.
Go for it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting a podium. I was hoping for a top 10 finish, to be honest, as I didn't have that much time to practice the race, and seeing the pace the guys showed in the socials and all the test races, especially Dyslexic.
How did you feel when the pressure you was feeling immensely from Cross Kerry suddenly was lifted? Because in the third sector, a couple of on the last lap, I think it was the second last lap, Cross Kerry crashed out on turn 12. So you must have felt a massive sigh of relief once that happened.
Actually, it got me confused because he was battling with me, and then all of a sudden I didn't see a car behind me anymore. And I was just talking to my engineer and teammate. Did he crash? Where did he go? Didn't even see any arrows around me, so didn't really know what happened. And then they told me that he apparently crashed, so made it definitely a bit easier for the last lap then, yeah.
Well, congratulations on a 3rd place finish. So 2nd place now to Bodder. Is Bodder in?
Yeah, I'm here, guys.
Bodder is here.
There we go. Bodder, so it's not initially the start you wanted, especially in Q3 when you pushed like crazy to get that lap and had a little bit of an oopsie in the back there, but P2 finish. Give us your opinion on how you felt the race went. Do you feel it could have gone better, or do you feel like that was the best you could have probably done for Australia today?
To be honest, I'm very, very happy. I think that's the best I could have done at this track. Like, you know, I knew coming in maybe it'd be like, I knew it'd definitely be top 10, top 5, top 3. I was maybe, I don't know. I know there's very fast guys in this division. Like you've Dyslexic, Porter is very fast. Ronix is also very fast. And like J.S. Lee, like he showed me today, like, you know, he made that Williams like 3 lanes or 4 lanes wide. I just couldn't get past him, and I just kept making mistakes behind it. But I just kept trying to apply as much pressure as I could to him. But fair play to J.S. Lee. He hung in there. It was unfortunate to see him kind of spin and damage the car. So, look,
how did you feel to take 2nd place?
Great, fantastic.
From J.S. Lee, especially after that accident.
Yeah, I was settling in for 3rd, to be honest, because I was behind J.S. Lee. Came out the last turn. I think it was maybe 9 laps to go, and I just nicked the left wall on the exit of the last corner, and it just ever so slightly damaged my wings. So I was like, right, that's my race kind of done in. So look, I'll settle into 3rd, trying to follow him behind him, charge ERS just in case he did make a mistake, charge or saved a bit of fuel as well just in case. Then he happened to spin on turn 12, and I was like, oh wow. So when he was spinning, it was kind of evasive maneuvers to go around him, but very happy to be P2.
Well, congratulations, Bodder. That was a really good run. And now on to Dyslexic, our championship leader for F3. So, Dyslexic, a tremendous start to the season. You dominated in qualifying, an amazing lap set with a 121.3, if I can recall. And you literally commanded the race from start to finish. How do you feel about this finish? I bet it was a bit gutting though when your teammate RSF1 Flaming crashed out, because that could have been some valuable points for Racing Point. So, a question now to all 3 of you, starting from Porter. So, next week is a fresh sweep of track now. So, we're no longer on Australia. We've got Bahrain. So, Porter, how do you feel about Bahrain next week?
Actually, can't really say. I've done like 15 laps in Bahrain so far. In previous seasons, it was kind of a good track. From the like first tracks that I usually am not really good at. So I hope to continue in Bahrain, what I just did in Australia. I hope to get top 5 again.
And to Bodder, your thoughts on Bahrain coming up?
Yeah, happy enough with it. At first I wasn't kind of too into it last season, and then it was actually my first league win was at Bahrain last season, but that was a very, very tough, hard-fought win. I don't know if I can do it again. I guess I'll just have to go back to the drawing board. And...
anything could happen, Bodder.
Yeah,
anything
exactly.
could happen.
That's it.
And now to our race winner, Dyslexic. How do you feel about the next race being Bahrain? Do you feel you can keep this momentum going? Well, congratulations to our top 3 in our race today after the little malfunction with Top Notch there. But Dyslexic leads the championship. Driver of the day from me and Krog goes to Moronix for his amazing recovery. So well done, Moronix, in earning driver of the day. Krog, anything to add before you wrap up for this evening?
Not really. I think you've covered everything pretty well there. I mean, it was a lovely race to commentate on. Some good clean racing, some good hard racing as well. So look forward to the next round in Bahrain. So good job, guys. Well done on the results. Yeah, we look forward to commentating next week.
Just want to give a shout out to Charismic, my engineer. I forgot to mention there. So hi, Charismic. Thanks for engineering me.
And to my teammate and engineer as well. Cheers, guys.
There we go.
It did. Teamwork is key.
Makes the dream work.
Well, that is it for round 1 of all of RSF1's racing. So we will be joining you on Sunday with F2 in Bahrain. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Hope you enjoyed that race. I'm Primus Gaming, and this has been Krog. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next race. Have a good evening.